Welcome to the round of 16, or no, wait, this is the round of 32. This is the round of 32, the bubble round to get into the round of 16. So the winner gets a prize, the loser does not. Usually a big round, and GU tournaments, poker tournaments as well. Some things to note there. Got the crystal tech. And you could argue that the time bomb's not great, but this is close to the nuts here. I don't even know what I'm searching for, to be honest. The time bomb was an okay keep, but I guess removal's okay too. I'm not wanting to get super aggressive with my pips here. We're gonna pip it into crystal tech for the ramp, and actually that safeguard gives us a great excuse to just chip away at that. We actually feel very good that they're using that. We could have argued pipping out the Frenetic Bibliomaniac, but next turn we're pipping out the Crystal Tech, and we might want to save our pips for a little bit later in the game. We're both playing what I assume to be control magic, so we're going to sit around and kind of do not much, early in the game. I do have the early Crystal Tech, which is always something you want in this matchup. They have unannounced arrival, which will indeed peel said Crystal Tech. Avatar of Deception is very interesting. And we've got Guild Enforcers. You might as well go ahead and toss one out there. They can use 2 spells to remove this, and then we can use 1 spell to remove that. And that's probably how this is going to end up going here. Okay, that can juice things up. 1 Star Shard can get rid of it now. We still feel very good about that. Very good value out of that, but they'll go face for 4 with a Shake Blast, remove that. They picked up a little bit of chip damage early on here, but nothing to necessarily write home about.
It would appear I'm out of options.
Get the full board clear right there. We did peel their spell boost, which feels somewhat good here. Probably leaning toward Guild Enforcer next turn.
The possibilities are
pretty solid. Sticking with my original plan, Guild Enforcer, Crystal Tech, go ahead, get the ramp. Unfortunately, we haven't drawn into our top end yet here.
Never hope to rival me.
This might ask some questions. If they do an attack here, we've got plenty of ways to remove this. But it'd be interesting to see what they come up with here. Ratify, we're really happy to draw a Ratify on that target specific.
This looks promising.
And alright here. I'm gonna draw first, probably double bolt. Okay. Actually, I can save 1 bolt here and just GP here. I think this is the more sensible thing to do. The most important thing I'm doing is taking the Protected off the God. And we save an entire spell by doing that. And they can do that still. Might leave. City Planner is just quite solid here, and it's
I did not foresee. That about does it. Everything you do is so obvious.
They have a board wipe for the situation. We don't want to take too much more damage because we're at 22. I run no healing and no safeguard in this version of this deck, so they could easily burn me out in certain situations. They have their own city planner, and this is going to be a mess.
This looks promising.
There's not really a clear way for me to wipe this. That hits there. This this does this. We can Blizzard Bolt here to put it to sleep. I think that asks some questions.
Patience is a virtue.
It probably killed this
Expand
minion
your
though.
mind.
I just didn't want this into this yet. I don't know if we want to Sanctum yet. Unfortunately, we haven't drawn Helion, and that's going to wipe the entire board.
Oh,
But I think we're okay drawing that Unbound, actually.
waste of mana.
Wonder if they're going to make a Sanctum pick up here. I mean, I don't even know what I want in the Sanctum. This is somewhat slow, but annoying. Let's draw a card and see what we get. Lambasting Wand does add some points of damage, slowly but surely. We'll get out the Wayward for something, though. If they're holding Helion, we're in a lot of trouble.
Minds have their limits.
And speaking of the devil,
I did not foresee.
Yep.
This looks promising.
we have our own Helion. I could actually kill it, it's ugly though. Giving up a lot of resources here. But I think it's worth it. The issue I have here is if I let that live, like hypothetically I play my own healing and they have a Ratify go face for 10, I might have already lost the game.
What do we have?
They have another one. I think City Planner's the line here. Hope it holds the line. Ooh, City Planner is so ugly though. Don't have any of the Flame of the Second Shatterings. I'm really not close to anything here. If they have Ratify, I think I'm just screwed. If they don't, then maybe these end up kind of neutralizing each other. But like, City Planner is vulnerable to more combinations of cards, and not every deck runs Ratify. That's one thing to keep in mind here. They had both Helions, which is tough. I was impressed I was able to get by the first one, and unfortunately even though we ramped earlier in this game, we were unable to really capitalize on the fact that we ramped, because we didn't really draw anything that helped. They should be able to peel my Helion relatively easily by just GPing and attacking, and what I'm just hoping is that that's all that's going to happen, is there's going to effectively neutralize each other. I still have one more Helion left in the deck, though. And, alright. GP, no surprise. Star Shard, looks like they've got a little bit of juicers here. Okay, they're doing that for favor. And going face with this, no surprise. I have to peel this, obviously. Time Bomb, very little in terms of
I'm
usage.
surprised.
Peel,
It would
peel.
appear I'm out of options.
Debating on whether or not I want to play Time Bomb or not. I think I do. Not sure that was worth. But I'm also having a really hard time to figure out how I win this game. Also having a really hard time figuring out value out of this Lay Horde. Kind of looks stupid in my hand. We've really dumped our hand here. They've got 6 cards in hand. We have these 2, so we're almost out of gas completely. We've got both Flame of the Second Shatterings left in the deck. We have
Wandering mind treads a dangerous
one
path.
Worm Breath, one Helion. We have a lot of good cards left inside the deck. And hypothetically, Flame of the Second Shattering. If we top deck 2, we could kind of get there. He's roping here. Like, this feels like an unbound. Ooh, interesting. Rune of Sight. They're digging. I figure they're going to probably try to wipe my board here. Unannounced arrival. Cunning Challenger, okay. Safeguard, interesting.
My turn.
Leaving this alive is just awkward, but I've got to figure out how am I winning this game. I think the city planner has enough front line where I can just let this live and push 3 extra points this turn. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. This looks like a very questionable line, though, admittedly. Life here. I think they have to unbound to get by all of this. So trading here and going face is the difference. I peel an extra 3 by doing that. Interesting. They tempted fate and they got overkill, which was probably one of the better things they could get. They can hit here and they do overkill for 2 here. They do have the unbound, which is the board wipe. I was kind of expecting that, to be honest. This can go face, we can heal Argog for 3. I don't think they ever have us in lethal range here, which is good. The wind-up roller kind of gets me closer to lethal in more lines than them. Ooh, the Helion is juicy, though. Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard to exploit just playing a fat Helion out there.
Stay in your own dimension.
That just feels hard to exploit. We're going to be drawing here, probably looking for a Ratify. Be my guess. If they have it in their deck. If they don't, they need a Blizzard Bolt to prevent me from attacking with it. Or a large combination of resources. That's what they would indeed need. Okay, they're still digging for the cards here. 6 left in their deck. So, still digging, probably digging for a Blizzard Bolt, I'd imagine. That goes face. That's not going to do it for our opponent. We're going to go ahead and take game number 1. Scary there for a bit, though. Game number 1 went our way in what ended up being a control magic mirror. We were able to stick 1 Helion Elite. They didn't have an answer for it, and usually it's tough to take a 10-point spot. Here, I expect they're playing zombies, we're playing aggro war. This game might come down to the opening hand here. They can get an early game Necroceptor, we're doomed. Otherwise, we have some hope here. Yeah, don't really like this draw, being honest.
Ready.
You could argue this Defiant Farmer is not a keep either.
Proud.
But we're gonna keep it. Try to get as much early board as possible. Nothing in the Sanctum helps our calls indeed being we need relic removal for their Necroceptor if they have a Necroceptor. If they don't have a Necroceptor, they are probably in some trouble here. Going straight towards the face. Nothing to really think about here. Keep things relatively simple with this deck. That is not a Necroceptor, so that is a relief for us, but they do have the Blight Bomb to take care of that entity.
Get ready.
Pretty simple, straightforward. The leech on this is going to be somewhat annoying, but that's life. First Degree, something to be concerned about here. This probably peels this off. And they actually take 1 point of damage, but they do get an advantage of a card advantage. This goes into here, this goes into here. Ooh, they're going to go ahead and... Okay, they're going to do that. That does make some sense. I can buy the Ranger First Bow here. After attack, Ranger First Bow appeals here. GP, save another round. Save Viking Longship. I think this is the way. You could argue that it's not the way, but I think it is. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe getting one of my 4s out of my hand makes more sense there. They might slap down a Guild Enforcer, but we do have another round we can play here. This and this goes into there. This goes face. We pick up the pluses there. The thing about committing another round is Curse to Greed is definitely a card that they could have. Definitely a card I'm concerned about. You could have argued that Viking Longship would have been better there. Okay. So we need to peel this Nether Swarm Lord off the board, otherwise it just gets out of hand. Just in general. So that peels there. This peels here, this goes face. We buff one of these minions. Either one is fine. So there's a case to be made that I should have left the Viking on the board. Yeah, there is. So what we're going to do here is do this. This is going to... This going face gives this flank to take this out. And that's going to be the key thing. We don't want them to get a board full of zombies here. We are a little bit vulnerable to the even bifurcating curse. That's something to keep in mind. Because both of these are even, and both of them are the big buffed ones. But this is already a 5/5 Woodcutter's Food. They're going to go face with this. Do they have the bifurcating curse? Yeah, I thought that was definitely a possibility for sure. This, and this, and this is a lot of damage already. Another round. We can go another round here. Six. So if we do this and this, and I think the original plan was best. Spreading the love around here. He needs to deal with both minions, which can be difficult. Another bifurcating curse doesn't do it. It's probably going to take a 2-card combination. He has already used both Blight Bombs, so, I mean, double Curse Degree deals with both. And then this is leeching and somewhat problematic. So you could say that maybe playing another round that turn was a bit better, because we can always ruin a strength on the same turn we play this. So this could represent 3 points of damage that we're missing. That being said, another Bifurcating Curse on evens. But this minion lives, and another round will win us game number 2 here. Yeah, he did that attack for the 1 point of leech, which doesn't matter because we have another round. And another round, plus the skill button, does get us this win. So here we are. Oh, wait. Alright. Game number 3. Here we are. They're going back probably to the zombies. They got unfortunate last game not drawing very well. They didn't get the early Necroceptor, which is what they dream of, and, well, if they get it this time, then it's going to be their nightmare. So we're definitely keep the counterfeit. This is a full keep. Lethargy Mage is great against zombies here, bound by her will. Counterfeit, I think we like all of this.
Knock 'em dead.
There is a Nightleaf Trapper in the Sanctum. That is something to keep in mind. So the favorite race does matter, because if hypothetically if we steal their Necroceptor, we would love to keep it, and we're just going to be sitting here for a bit here. That's fine for us. We're okay with that. Pretty slow start for them. The Cursed Obelisk is actually the perfect card to steal with Bound by Her Will, and we are definitely happy to go ahead and take that. They probably have a way to kill this, but the fact that we stole it and then they're going to use resources to kill it feels like a win, and that Necroceptor is the exact card we wanted to see, because we can just take it. And this is probably going to be a very soul-crushing moment once we go ahead and steal the Necroceptor with the counterfeit, though they can potentially be eking their way up towards that Nightleaf Trapper, so we're going to do our best here to come by the board some. So we're going to take out the Axe Woman and fight here for the board. The longer that we can keep the Necroceptor alive, the better. They probably win the race for the Nightleaf. They've got their own Necroceptor, so this race just got real. And they've got a Curse to Greed for that. So that is going to be a bit unfortunate. They can actually get the requisite favor by going face right now to grab the Nightleaf, which is definitely the winner. Yeah, this is a pretty good start. Not pretty good start. Pretty good turn for them, I should say. No relic. No help appears in the Sanctum for us this turn, which is a bit unfortunate. We are going to lose our Necroceptor next turn. That is something to note here. I went towards the face just because.
One step at a time.
And we'll go ahead and get this in play. Unfortunately, this list I'm playing only runs one Necroceptor. So, I mean, not one Necroceptor, one counterfeit. So he drew both Necroceptors and got the Relic Hate in the Sanctum. So he actually is going to have that Necroceptor stick, and I'm not going to have really any way to deal with it. But he didn't play. Oh, so he's afraid of the second Necroceptor. Interesting. He's not afraid of the second Necroceptor, afraid of the second counterfeit. Very interesting. This can hit here. The Beguiling Blade, generally speaking, harder to get value out of, so we're going to go ahead and play these.
Wait for the punchline.
Again, he has the Nightleaf available to play whenever he wants to play it. I was surprised he didn't slap it out last turn, but he is obviously very concerned about the potential of a second counterfeit. Which, I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm not even running two, but, I mean, you almost just bait him. Like, if you have it, you have it, right? We can do another. We can play another. We can play an Umber Arrow here, and that's fine. Grab the Archer, maintain board presence here. We haven't drawn any of our cutthroats, which is somewhat disappointing. Find it odd he's just giving us the 3 zombies, but I'm okay with it. I think pipping into Witherfingers makes a lot of sense here. It does apply some pressure. That is exactly what we're going to do here. He might be relieved that this 0-2 is about to die without a favor cost. But the Witherfingers here does weaken that board.
That's enough for now.
We're putting some pressure on them. This might draw the some removal here. Yeah, Ray Disintegration. That's not really shocking. Wow, he's going very wide here. Guess not that wide. I can Umber Arrow. A lot of options here. Umber Arrow here into here. GP. I figure the more we leave them with no board, the better. Probably don't commit into Sanctum yet. I think that Vicious Adventure is the best card. I still haven't drawn a Cutthroat, which is somewhat puzzling. We only have 3 cards in hand, though. We're going to buy the Ambitious Adventurer here, so we draw. Here's a Cutthroat. See if they've got any top-end things. Okay, end times. It's pretty solid.
That's not gonna happen.
It's been amazing how patient they've been with the Nightleaf. They're gonna feel very foolish when they see this VOD and then realize I didn't have it. Wow. So that's gonna force the Rapture. No, I can just end times actually. Yeah, end times. And he knows about the end times too, so it makes a lot of sense. I just stole it from him. So the Cruel is here, but we're still at 21, so we feel pretty good about things. We know the last 2 cards in their hand are Nightleaf Trapper and Ray Disintegration. So, if we draw our Helion, and yes, this deck does run 1 Helion, then we don't just flat out play it immediately. Might try to bait the Ray. Of course, this 6/6 might bait the Ray for that matter, which we're okay with. Oh, they have it in times. That's a classic. Probably just gonna Hunting Trap that one. Hunting Trap, Carriage, GP here. Seems to be the line. Hunting Trap there.
Well, at least they tried.
I like Carriage.
Make him wait for the punchline.
That lag spike was pretty scary. Okay, that's a card we like to steal. But we have nothing to run it into, so it's a bit inconvenient. Oh, Ray Disintegration. So he was able to spend all of his mana, but used his Ray on this. I think we're happy. Oh, since he Ray Disintegration me, I can Umber here and hit here into here. That just feels good. Though I could also play Witherfingers, which is also very strong as well. I'll save my Umber. You could argue that this isn't the best play.
Close your eyes. This won't take long.
But we... So we know they're holding Nightleaf Trapper. It's one of their cards. And we've just baited the Ray of Disintegration. Okay, like, baiting the Bifurcating there isn't bad. I guess in terms of top end... I'm really running out of stuff in the top end, actually. Just fighting for the board here.
Your screams
Dude,
will
can I win
echo
this game by
through the
fatigue? Legitimate question. Do I give up the second Hunting Trap for that? I mean, this has to be the best card they have, right? That's usually the famous last words.
Awkward.
Typically the famous last words. That's gotta be the best card they have. And now he's gonna play a Helion and I'm gonna look like an idiot. Or that 9/9 with all the stats and stuff. We actually don't have a way to take this. We've already played one Bound by Her Will. Have a way to kill this? Okay, he just spent all of his mana. Spending his mana is smart. He's holding one Nightleaf Trapper, so we obviously don't attack in here into here, ever here, in this situation. Actually, I can reduce this down to 0. Does reducing this down to 0 ever make sense? Blade Borrower Lethargy is solid. That's just a 0/5. And we're just gonna bypass it. Go straight to the place. These 0 mana minions on the board, they do buff my Rapture Dances. That's something to keep in mind, and something he should be pretty cognizant of here. Yeah. So he wants to spend... He can spend 2 more mana. He can attack here and then GP and only shuffle 2 bombs in their deck. Is that going to be appealing? And he wants to clear his board so this isn't an issue. Okay, he does do that attack, so he's going to GP here. He can't quite afford in the Sanctum much of anything. We will get the Bronze Servant. The interesting thing is when we buy the Bronze Servant, they're going to play their Nightleaf Trapper, and that's going to just end the Necrosceptor tension in this game. Which is kind of funny. But having Necrosceptor around has to favor him. He needs to realize that he just kills the zombie here, obviously. He probably doesn't want to give me favor, but like me having Rapture here is just so obvious, yeah. Now, do I play Rapture? Yeah, I play Rapture. Let's see, yeah, because we kill this, we get this, we kill this. We'll just take out their Necrosceptor. So this is here. And they will play Nightleaf to take out my Necrosceptor as well. I think the Vow's the best card in the Sanctum. So both Necroceptors are going to be gone. Yeah. So he held that. I think holding this back really hurt him this game, though. I get that he's afraid of the second counterfeit, but I was shocked by the second Necroceptor and only running one counterfeit.
Alright,
Skull.
let's dance.
Cursed Obelisk, maybe? But then we just Rapture. Rapture, trade, and then face. Oh, Axeman, okay. I think the Umbers are solid here. Umber here, and we just remove the minion.
That must have
Pretty
hurt.
simple gameplay. This pickpocket's probably not going to be useful. And I'm worried about fatigue, so probably just not going to draw here. We can kind of just sit. Basically, he has to play whatever he draws a bomb. So he has one more bomb left in his deck. Okay, I'm not doing too bad in that category. Actually, okay, Purificating Curse, so he just does it on. Yeah, alright, that's fine. I was about to say that with the wind-up roller, there were some lines that made some sense, I think. I'm just playing this as a naked 3-2 minion, I'm being 100% honest. It does provide a little bit of pressure, but like floating there is just cringe. Okay, the wind-up roller helps us get to, it really helps accelerate the game. Okay, Helion is definitely a threat. Cursed Obelisk is definitely what we're stealing with the Bound by Our Will. So we'll take that. This will go face. The Val takes out the 3-2. I think he's just running out of resources here. I'll leave the Sanctum. You could argue a purchase here, but I don't know what the best purchase is. So he actually gets his purchase, so he can buy the Form of Power to rip this off the board, which is annoying. Pickpocket's kind of cool because it baits them into doing things. Pickpocket. So they never want to have cards left in their hand when I play Pickpocket. So it's kind of a bait card. This weakens their board state to the point where they're not really doing anything here. And yeah, I'll leave the board as it stands. They have another board wipe, they're gonna play it here, then we drop Helion. We've drawn... Okay, that's fine. Now, can they dump their entire hand, or am I gonna get a card from the Pickpocket? I guess that's the question. Oh, they had Blight Bomb. Okay. but the cool thing is the Pickpocket did bait the Blight Bomb.
I'm almost out of cards.
I think they've got 0 cards in hand. Let's just ask the question.
Now you got my attention.
Let's just ask the question. If they can deal with it, they can deal with it. But if they can't, that's going to be game. That almost deals with it, but it doesn't. Because we've got the Stone Skin, which will allow us to sneak by. We'll chip the Protected. Our God Power also sneaks by. ball from the Sanctum. And killed their own minion, which makes a lot of sense here. Stoneskin, the Guild Enforcer, a hide here, going towards the face here. And our opponent has one bomb left in their deck. This could be a bomb lethal. In case of an AoE, I'm not going to play anything else. This Helion asked enough questions as it is. The Nether Swarm Lord isn't going to get it done for our opponent here. And we are going to win in a 3-0 sweep, advance to the round of 16. Pretty clean.